received the first draft on September 9th. There was an anticipated next redevelopment meeting scheduled for September 12th. Once we got an opportunity to read it that night, and the comments were significant, we encouraged the administration to postpone that meeting to today's meeting so that we could incorporate all of our concerns and comments and questions into the revised plan. Some of the more significant changes that have been made through 4 o'clock this afternoon include the following, and if bear with me. We required that the plan that the town provide the results of its traffic study at the detailed level that it's getting to now, and again in a public information center prior to the council's adoption of the redevelopment agreement. So at that time we'll know more than what we know now. It includes clarification on the traffic impacts in the corridor and the intersections, which you've seen has been done. It defines the developer's responsibility to identify mitigation measures, costs and impacts, and specifically says that the town or the developer will implement those mitigation measures, and that's subject to the redevelopment agreement. It includes minimum pedestrian circulation and safety requirements, the traffic beacons or what have you, and the other measures, minimum bicycle improvement safety standards, and the secondary standards that could be implemented at the discretion of the planning board. It includes minimum safety standards for ADA compliance and people with visually impaired persons. It specified the specific setback, arcade, and public space dimensions. It clarified the maximum height and footprint of the parking structure, which was not previously included. I think it included the requirement for free short-term parking into the garage for patrons of the retail establishments. To a lesser extent, the plan also includes provisions for, basically recommendations for provisions for reduced heat island effect in the public spaces, basically, hardscape. It includes effort recommendations to reduce bird strikes, basically deaths caused by windows through window treatments. It encourages the use of solar-powered compaction trash receptacles in the public spaces and compaction facilities for the commercial garbage areas. It encourages the use of biking to work through various facilities, indoor parking, changing areas, lockers, etc. And other items. I think the one that changed today at 4 o'clock was there was concerns by a number of council members about the retail space and what would we be getting in retail, and the interest in preserving the mom and pop stores. Unfortunately, in this sort of development, these stores are not going to be able to be saved, preserved as they are, in the construction. But language has been added to the plan that basically commits the developer and the town through the redevelopment agreement to establish sort of physical and potentially financial incentives to create smaller spaces for smaller businesses or business incubation areas or markets. And again, all of these elements are conceptual but commitments in the plan so that when we get to the redevelopment agreement, or when we get to the planning board review, everyone can go back and say, it's in the plan, so basically, you guys gotta address it. So I think we've done an outstanding job of working with the planners and the traffic engineers and the administration, and it's been a really great iterative process, so I defer to my council colleagues.
Just to build on what Stefan was talking about, I think when we publish this report, I think it's important that we actually show you the red line version. There's more red line in the document than there is text. A lot of that was, and I hope people heard it during Phil's presentation, a lot of the concerns are being addressed. Okay, what we heard was the architecture. You know, people are concerned that you have 350 of building here. Is there going to be architectural differentiation? Again, when you read the plan, you'll see a lot in the plan in terms of design standards and architectural guidance. But the other reality is the planning board does have a lot to say at that level. So the process doesn't stop here, and it's right. Because with every level of the process, it's getting better, and the plan is getting better. And I think the process itself is actually proving very valuable to what we're going to be doing on this site. Just to, before we get started, should we ask questions? No. Okay. If we could, let's start. If we could start with traffic. And again, some of the questions I'm asking is just really to reinsert the fact that they looked at it. Okay. And my first question on traffic is Brian, you are retained by the town.
So I'm going to move to that.
That's a good idea. Okay. Brian, you are retained by the town, correct?
I am.
Correct. And when you were doing your mobility analysis, the data that you were using was data that was accumulated by the town?
It was both. So we looked at the data that was accumulated by the town as part of the mobility study that was done a few years ago, as well as the data.
Microphone, please.
Sorry. As well as the data that was collected by the applicant's traffic engineer.
And did you see any substantial variance